The next issue is with respect to law of seas. We saw refugees. Right? In this session, we'll see law of the sea. What exactly is law of the sea? It is about how much area in the ocean is part of yours. In ocean, how much area will be part of yours is what law of the sea tries to tell us. Now, if you take a particular ocean, let us say this is the mean sea level, actual sea level. Now, from here, if I take whenever the water level rises, we call it high tide level. And if water level reduces, we call it low tide level. Above is called high tide level, below is called low tide level. And within this area, I have to draw a baseline, like starting point to say how much of ocean is mine. I need a starting point. That starting point is called baseline. Now let me say someone will start the baseline here and someone will start here. If they tell baseline is here and if I tell 12 nautical miles is yours, in ocean you use the term nautical miles. Okay. So if I say 12 nautical miles is mine, then it will be till here. If I start here, then 12 nautical miles will be till here. So can I say, if I take low tide level, I will get more area. If I take high tide level, I will take less area. So normally countries will go for low tide level. In case, let us say India and Sri Lanka both are closer. So what will happen? If India uses low tide level, Sri Lanka also uses low tide level. So both will come to the same point. But normally countries will go for low tide level. So now, let us take a scenario where India, first, what will we do? We will have a baseline. What is a baseline? Baseline is an imaginary line which is drawn either at high tide level or at low tide level or in between. Now, this point will be called as baseline. Can you see this white point? This will be called as coastline, beach point. This is coastline, this is base. Now, in case you have any water in this particular part, can I say if I take this is the baseline, there is some water beside this as well. So that will be normally called as internal waters. Fine. This is your baseline. This is coastline. This is internal waters of yours. Now, what the country does from here, 12 nautical miles will be basically called as baseline. Fine. From the baseline till 12 nautical miles will be called as territorial waters. It is called as what? Territorial waters. See this. The word territorial means territory. That means it is your sovereignty. It is part of your territory. So when you say sovereignty, it is not just resource sovereignty. No one can enter into your territory without your permission, either through ocean or through space. Aeroplane movement in this region is also not permitted. If you want to enter into this region, even in air, you need to take permission. Recently, US drone entered into Iran's nuclear, territorial waters. Iran blasted it. So anytime if you have, anything moving in this particular part, that would normally lead to what we call as, territorial sovereignty. It is completely ours. We can tell whether someone can come or someone cannot come, remember. But let us say, normally in the ocean, whenever our ships won't work, okay, our ships won't work, what do? Anywhere land is visible, we just directly go there. But when we have to go, we need to keep white flag and then go. Because on the ship, other country flags will be there. So you should try to show white flag until this is not threat. And if it is military ship, let us say US military ship came, it didn't find anything, so it came towards India. It has to show white flag, surrender all the weapons, and then tell what is the issue. So innocent passage is permitted, right? If someone is entering into our territory without knowledge, then it is permitted. We send them back. But every time you cannot come as innocent people. Okay, innocent passage is permitted in territorial waters. Remember the term sovereignty. Now, India has 7,517.7 kilometers of coastline. When you have such huge coastline, it is highly impossible for us to stop someone entering into our territory, someone moving out of our territory. So we want to identify who is coming and who is going. So we want some additional place. For example, in front of our house, we normally put some, not the gate. In front of gate, you might have seen people take some area. They put some on the sewage. They put some rocks and all and try to sit there. They will try to take that area as well. That means, in front of house, if you take, you'll have a gate. In front of gate also, you will have some area as yours. It is not yours, it is government's. Anyone can walk here. People can walk here. You won't stop. But can I say, if someone is standing on that for almost 3 to 4 hours, can you go and ask, what are you doing here? Why are you standing here? Don't park my vehicle. Don't park your vehicle here. This is my territory. Something like that. So, for such huge water, some additional area is given, which is basically known as contiguous zones. Contiguous zone. Territorial waters, contiguous zone. How much is contiguous zone? 12 from territorial waters, 24 nautical miles from base. Right? Here, anyone can go. You cannot restrict them, especially in this part. But you can go and ask who you are. Why are you here? Questions can be asked. But you cannot stop their navigation. So, other countries have rights to enter into this particular territory. Prelims asked a question. Within territorial waters, is innocent passage permissible? Yes. How much is territorial waters? 12 nautical miles. Fine. And then you see, from here, almost till 200 nautical miles, we will normally have exclusive economic zone. Exclusive economic zone. Remember, here we will have economic sovereignty. Here we will have territorial sovereignty, overall sovereignty. But here we will have economic sovereignty. What is the meaning of economic sovereignty? All the resources present in that part will be completely mine. No one can come and do fishing in this region. No one can take oil in the region. Till where? Till here. Can anyone go? Yes. Can flights come? Yes. Flights cannot enter only in which area? Territorial waters. Anyone can come till exclusive economic. But you see, I'll give you two cases. Now, let us take Kerala region. Kerala region. Let me take West Bengal regions. So, if you take this is water, fine, if this is water, this area is basically called continental shelf. Here, from here to here, it is called as continental shelf. Now you see, as the term itself indicates, it represents continent. Continent basically means it belongs to this area, right? It belongs to this area. Just water has come over it. That's it. So actually this belongs to us. Now, let us say near Kerala, the continental shelf is approximately 150 nautical miles. But here, it is 330 nautical miles. In West Bengal, continental shelf is 330 nautical miles. In Kerala, continental shelf is just 150 nautical miles. Now, what is exclusive economic zone? 200 nautical miles. So what they did, they told, okay, 200 nautical miles is yours. They told this is yours. This is your exclusive economic zone. Now what happened, you see, in West Bengal also, if I tell 200 is yours, then this much will be part of India. But in this area also, oil and natural gas is there. Can you see additional area is there? That area also oil and natural gas is there. So India says, I want that also. Not only 200, I want that also. On the other hand, if you take Russia, Russia has continental shelf of 1280 kilometers, 1280 kilometers. And Russia says, you are giving me 200 nautical miles, but I have more than 800 nautical miles. I want complete thing because oil is there. So every country demanded, we want more of continental shelf. At least give us continental shelf. So international community decided, fine, we'll do one thing. What? Now, for example, if continental shelf is like, less than 200 nautical miles. Another case, continental shelf is greater than 200 nautical miles. For example, if at all continental shelf is 150 nautical miles, here it is 330 nautical miles, then what they told, minimum 200 nautical miles will be given to you. If it is less than 200, minimum how much will be given? 200. And if it is more than 200 nautical miles, we are going to give you how much? Continental shelf. Whatever is continental shelf, I will give you that. See, now, if my continental shelf is 150, how much will I get? 200. If my continental shelf is 500, how much will I get? 500. So, either I will get 200 or continental shelf. Whichever is maximum, I am going to get. UPSC in prelims asked, exclusive economic zone is always 200 nautical miles. Is that true? No. Why? Whenever continental shelf is greater than 200 nautical miles, then exclusive economic zone is also greater than continental shelf. Do you understand? That's why clarity is important. See, most of the things we feel we know. We have heard, we have read. But the point is we miss those keywords. This is the reason what happens. One statement you know, another statement you don't know. Everything has a logic behind it. There is a debate behind it. We have not participated. For us, it's information. Okay, for you and me, what is it? It's information. Okay, there is a law. Fine. But there will be fight over that law. China is fighting for the law. India is fighting for a law. This aspect was brought by Russia. Russia fought for it and told it should be continental shelf. Then everyone thought, okay, let's give continental shelf. Then a country called Chile, like, Peru, Chile in South America, they don't have continental shelf at all. Now, they started demanding, if you tell exclusive economic zone is equal to continental shelf, I don't have continental shelf. What will you give it to me? Then they told, no, minimum 200, maximum continental shelf. That's how they varied the things. So, what is fixed? Territorial waters is fixed. How much? 12 nautical miles. Contiguous zone is 24 nautical miles. Exclusive economic zone is either 200 or continental shelf. Now what happens? Who should take? So, can I write 200 nautical miles or continental shelf? Now the point is, who will take care of the region outside 200 nautical miles? Who will take care of the area beyond 200 nautical miles? Everyone called it high seas. High seas. So everyone told high seas belong to everyone. Everyone can come, everyone can go. But the question is, who can take the minerals in the high seas? US told anyone can take. Any country can go and take minerals in high seas. Some countries got scared. They told US, we don't have technology. You have technology. You will go and take everything. By the time we come, nothing will be left. So let us leave it for future generation. And let us leave it under one organization. That organization is called International Seabed Authority. This was asked in exam, ISBA. Prelims question was about ISBA. Fine. Nowadays, IR questions are increasing in depth and people call this geography question, oceanography question and all. But the point is, these are all associated with international debates. Now, US got upset. How can you tell I should not extract minerals from high seas? US did not sign the agreement. The country which has not signed UNCLOS is US. Fine. And then this ISBA, it is maintaining high seas. But in high seas, we people have dumped a lot of waste. Plastic, everything is dumped there. Now someone should clean it. If you want to clean it, you need money. So ISBA gives permission to countries. They will tell you go and extract. Whatever minerals you get, you extract and give some royalty to me. So let's say if India extracts any mineral, we have to give money to ISBA, right? And ISBA will utilize the money for maintenance of high seas. Recently, all the countries met. They are discussing about cleaning of high seas. If that happens, this royalty money will be helpful. Are you getting the point? And what is India extracting? India is extracting polymetallic nodules. It is called polymetallic nodules. Manganese nodule, silver nodule, like gold nodules are there. They will be present on the bottom, abyssal plain you call. It will be present in that area. India is extracting it from that region. Are you getting the point? See guys, lot of politics in the world today is happening on this aspect. If you talk about China in South China Sea, if you talk about China in East China Sea, fight between the countries is over this. From 2013 onwards, 2013 onwards, there is no year UPSC has not asked a question on South China Sea and East China Sea. And that is because people predict it will be the region of Third World War. And that is the reason they try to study what is the issue. The moment you want to go to the issue, they will tell it is maritime dispute. What is maritime dispute? Then they talk about the law. UPSC cannot ask controversy. So what UPSC will do? UPSC will try to ask about this particular aspect. 2014-15, you see, this is asked for 12.5 marks. Explain unclause, maritime zones of the country. Do you understand? So you write law of the sea you wrote. Below that you write maritime zones of the country. Maritime zones of the country. Below this, in 1980s, in 1980s, yes, in IR, no need to remember specific year. Decade, if you write also, it's fine. In that decade, fine. In 1980s, United Nation, UN, Convention on Law of Sea, was agreed by most of the countries. Was agreed by most of the countries. It tries to demarcate. Maritime zones of the country. Where the country will have rights, RIGHTS, rights over water bodies. On the basis of UNCLOS, UNCLOS, on the basis of UNCLOS, maritime borders are demarcated. Into following. Can you draw this first? Done. You write below baseline. First one, baseline. Hyphen. It is an imaginary line. It is an imaginary line between high tide level and low tide level and low tide level. High tide level and low tide level. First, it is the point from where countries would demarcate their boundary. Second one, internal waters. Hyphen. The area in between baseline and coastline is known as internal waters, which is considered part of the country, and is not included for calculation of maritime borders. Next. Next, you write territorial waters. Hyphen. It is 12 nautical miles. It is 12 nautical miles from the baseline where the country will have territorial sovereignty. where the country will have territorial sovereignty. Full stop. In this only, next paragraph you write. In this area, the country can decide international navigation not just in the sea, but also in the air. That is airspace is also controlled. But innocent passage is permitted in this particular part. Next, contiguous zone. Hyphen. It is 12 nautical miles from territorial waters and 24 nautical miles from the baseline. Full stop. Here the country will have limited power. Next, exclusive economic zone. Hyphen. It is 200 nautical miles from the baseline where the country will have economic sovereignty and entire area belongs to them. Full stop. International navigation is permitted but resource extraction is not allowed. Full stop. Next paragraph. Whenever continental shelf is more than 200 nautical miles, 200 nautical miles, then exclusive economic zone is also more than 200 nautical miles, and it would be equal to continental shelf. Next, high seas. Hyphen beyond exclusive economic zone EEZ, beyond EEZ, there will be high seas. Full stop. In these high seas, navigation is permitted. And there won't be permission for resource extraction. Full stop. In this area, minerals and other resources are under international seabed authority. International Seabed Authority, ISBA. Full stop. It will decide which countries should be given permissions for resource extraction. Okay. Now we'll see issues. What are all the international issues that are there with respect to this? You see, if I take India, Sri Lanka. India and Sri Lanka is basically separated by Park Strait above. Above region is Park Strait. Below region is what? Park Strait and Gulf of Mannar separates India and Sri Lanka. Gulf of Mannar, you can see space is more. Gap is more. Park Strait, gap is less. How much is the gap? When they saw, the gap is just 22 nautical miles. 22. Now the problem is, if it was 24, we could have taken 12. But how much is it? 22. Now when you have 22, India and Sri Lanka was fighting who should get how much. It was at this point of time, 1974, we had an agreement and we said, this is the border. 11 nautical miles for India, 11 nautical miles for Sri Lanka. I want you to see here, see, whenever a powerful country is there, like India, and a small country like Sri Lanka is there, normally, if you talk to countries like China and all, they will tell 12 is mine, 20 is mine. China may go to the extent of saying Sri Lanka is mine. Okay. So that is the case with them. India respected sovereignty of another country. There will be questions like, is India acting like a big brother? Is India trying to impose on others? You should give these examples and tell, when there was dispute, India gave how much? 11 for them. 11 we took. This is an example to show that we would respect another country as equally sovereign country. And we don't try to show our authority over them. Fine? And see, whenever you have a line like this, boundary like this, in ocean, it is very difficult to demarcate the boundary. So what do? They put orange color balls. And these orange color balls will be floating up and down. That actually gives an indication that where exactly is the border. Okay, that is always there. There will be some measures to take that particular thing. Now, when you look at another issue, that is with respect to Bangladesh. If you consider Bay of Bengal, especially like, India, Bangladesh, and you had Myanmar. Bangladesh faced a unique problem. Bangladesh faced a unique problem. That was, now what happened? As it is curved, India said, this is mine. Myanmar told, this is theirs. Can I say Bangladesh became sea-locked? Okay, the term sea-locked, you should remember. Okay, Bangladesh became sea-locked because of claims by India and Myanmar. Now, what Bangladesh did? Bangladesh said, we will also draw. Bangladesh drew. The case went to international court. And court told, first 2011, if I'm not wrong, the court said Myanmar and Bangladesh, this will be the border. This will be the border. 2011 IR question. Recently, Myanmar and Bangladesh resolved their maritime boundary. What is the impact of that on India? Because India also have to follow. India also have issues. Now what happened? International court actually told, because this is approximately 25,000 square kilometer area. Out of this, like, actually, when we see 18,000 square kilometer area was given to Bangladesh, remaining was given to India. Who got more? Bangladesh got more, India got less. Actually, there is a island here, guys. There is a small island here, which is called New Moor Islands. It is exactly in between India and Bangladesh. It was disputed territory. There, people normally use it to tell, the dispute between India and Bangladesh is resolved by climate change. How climate change submerged it? This entire water island got submerged. But later, international court told this belongs to you. But Bangladesh got 18,000 plus, India got just 5,000-6,000 plus. Who actually won? Bangladesh won, India lost. But India told it is victory for India-Bangladesh friendship. Both of us will try to agree with this particular thing. Actually, Bangladesh did not believe that India will accept the verdict. But what India told, in this region, oil is there. Oil is there. And if I oppose you, you will definitely give oil exploration project to China. And China will come to this region. If China starts extracting oil from the region, they will try to see what is happening in east coast of India. East coast of India is important for three reasons, three things. Odisha, we have Wheeler Island. And near Wheeler Island, we normally do missile testing. Okay, we call today APJ Abdul Kalam Islands. What do? We do missile testing. Second, Vishakhapatnam. Vishakhapatnam is naval port of India. And in Vishakhapatnam, we normally station big, like, naval ships, INS Vikramaditya and all, they come closer to it. Because of that, Vishakhapatnam is where we keep majority of the weapons. We don't keep it on the west coast because of Pakistan. Pakistan may attack Mumbai, Pakistan may attack Kochi, so we avoid it. But this side we don't. Okay, Vishakhapatnam, big ships come. So we are very much worried about it. Third, Sriharikota. Sriharikota. Because of Sriharikota, what is going to happen? Space launch. China wants to see all this. India told, don't give oil exploration to China. What we can do, we will only extract and pay money to you, how much ever internationally you will get. So on behalf of you, I will extract and I will give it to you. So don't allow other countries to come. So India, Bangladesh agreed on international court judgment and said that we will follow the order. See, an agreement where, a law where India did not get in its way, but still India accepted it. When the law, when the judgment came against China, China said we will boycott international court. So that is the difference. India always honors international law judgments. Why should India be part of United Nations Security Council? If someone asks, India follows international law. India will always respect peace and stability by following international law, even though the judgment is not in favor of India. No country in the world till date, if they are powerful and if judgment is not in favor of them, they have accepted it, except India. So this is where it comes into picture. Next, you see, normally if you take this as China, if this is Vietnam, China, Taiwan, Vietnam, here you will have Indonesia, here you will have Brunei, you will have Philippines. This area is called South China Sea. What is it? South China Sea. Now, in this, what has happened? What China is doing, there are many ridges present below the oceans. There are many ridges present below the ocean. And if something is below the ocean, it's not yours. So no exclusive economic zone, nothing will be available. So what China did, China is trying to build artificial rocks, islands. Now you tell if it comes out. If it comes out, can I say around that 12 nautical miles belong to China? 200 nautical miles belong to China? China is trying to build artificial islands, and China is trying to say that this belongs to me. This entire area belongs to me. Can I say it is illegally trying to occupy the region? Yes. India is also trying to build artificial islands. India is practicing it, learning it. That is through calcium carbonate deposits. You might have heard coral reefs, right? Coral reefs, India is planning to do artificially. And the technology is called as bio-rock technology. The technology with which India is trying to build, like, what do you call it as artificial islands, is called bio-rock technology. This was prelims question. What is bio-rock technology? UPSC always asks question on the basis of its importance. You people don't know the importance. That's why you feel it is science and tech, it is environment, where it is being asked and all. If you know what is happening internationally, then things would be much more easier. Which area are they talking about? Which area are they talking about? South China Sea, correct? They are talking about South China Sea, and they are talking about artificial islands. Take 2014-15 geography question paper. In that question paper, they have asked, how are islands of South China Sea formed? Question is directly, how are islands of South China Sea formed? They didn't say artificial islands. They tried to tell how islands of South China Sea are formed. You need to talk about plate tectonics. You need to tell convergent boundaries of, like, what you call as Eurasian plate, Pacific plate, Philippines plate, Indo-Australian plate. They all converged to form this. Now, all of a sudden, why will UPSC ask how are islands of South China Sea formed? That too in geography. You feel it is what? Geography question. Next, if you start by hearting all islands in the world, where it is formed, how will you score? But if you know the political aspects behind it, I'm trying to tell you, read about, like, read in newspaper thoroughly. What are all the issues that are there? When you get that gist, you understand what's happening. You can predict questions also. Your mind works, how it is happening, where it is happening. All the issues today are happening in South China Sea. Okay, now you see what China does. Do you recollect in between India and Sri Lanka, when we had a dispute, did we draw a line and told India 11 and Sri Lanka 11? This line will be called dash. The line between two countries which demarcate in territorial waters is called dash. So what China does is, China tries to make nine dash line. China has drawn 9 dash line like this, and it claims entire area, which is this area, South China Sea, as part of China. China says entire area is mine. Remember, guys, remember, it's not exclusive economic zone. It's not exclusive economic zone. If it is exclusive economic zone, you can move. China says it is territorial waters. Can any country has this much of territorial water? If this is territorial water, then can I tell this should be your baseline? 12 nautical miles, right? This should be your baseline. China says this is my baseline. They're asking how? China is telling during glaciation, all water went down. At that time, this was mine. You see, my history books say these islands were mine. China is trying to say entire area is mine. It is this thing which is making the world to be worried. World is asking, if you do like this, it's difficult. And the court told, no, you are wrong. You should go back. This is not correct. Then China told boycott court. That was the time when China started telling the world we should not trust the court. I'm just trying to differentiate between two countries. One country which lost but respected. Another country which lost and tried to boycott. Now what happened? Here, who is there? Taiwan. China brought big ships here and told all this belongs to me. Who will come to protect? Who will come to protect? It was at this point, like, US came with bigger ships. US told, I will protect. China, this is wrong. Go back. If court gives judgment on any law, you should agree it. Who told? US. To whom? China. China told, at least I have signed the agreement. You have not even signed the agreement. And you are telling me what to do, what not to do. US told, no, no, you should listen to me. China is like, no, I won't listen. All these countries are scared of, US also, China also. It's like to escape from China, you are entering into US. If China is dragon, US is crocodile. Okay, it will attract, come, but later it will also eat you. So all countries in the region are scared, especially Vietnam. Vietnam had war with US. Because of this, they're all scared. They don't know what to do. So Vietnam came to India and told India, you are the only person whom we can trust. Can you come and extract oil reserves in this region? Here you will have Hong Kong. Okay, Chinese Hong Kong will be there. Here oil reserves will be there. India was given permission to extract reserves from this region. Indians went there. India started extracting the oil. Chinese came. Chinese asked, this is disputed area. Why are you doing here? India told, Vietnam called, we came. If you tell, we will go. India came back. See, if Chinese arrest you, they will never release you. With any other country, you can come out. With China, you can't come. No one will talk. So all our people came out. Vietnam came to India and asked, why did you go? You should have been there. I would have helped you. India told, I can't be there because I can't trust you. I can't trust your capacity. If my country comes here, I will be strong. So, can you allow my country Navy to come? Indian Navy should come. So, for Indian Navy to come, we want a port. We want a port. Vietnam gave us the Nang. That port is ours. Okay. But the problem is, if you have a port, not enough. You should have ship also. And China has huge ships. Some ships are almost 20 to 50 football stadium big. Okay, it's an island. Ship itself will be an island. And if ship is standing in between, it's like an island is there. Vehicles can come, go. Mini city will be there. Such huge ship. Now you tell, China will come with huge ship. India will go with small ship. That itself will scare you. Forget about it's like, someone going with a sword, another one coming with AK-47. That itself will scare you. So India wants a big ship. India was searching, who will give big ship? India asked Russia. Russia, can you give big ship? How big? 20 football stadium big. 30 football stadium big. Fine, we'll give. How much? $30 billion, $40 billion. India is not rich enough to purchase $30 billion big ship to show. Are you getting the point? For show off, I can't do that much. Moreover, remember, if we take a big ship, we can carry submarines along with it. We can drop submarine, we can pick up submarine. That also we can do. So what India decided, India asked Russia, do you have any alternative? And Russia provided an alternative, which is our INS Vikramaditya. INS Vikramaditya was given to India. And Vikramaditya is not enough because China can always see where Vikramaditya is. But I want a submarine. Submarine, which is inside the water, which goes hit and come. Now, if I want to be inside the water, India's best one was INS Sagarika. INS Sagarika. It was diesel-run submarine. And diesel-run submarine's problem is every day it comes out. Because if it is running on diesel, it produces smoke, carbon dioxide. All the carbon dioxide will be in a chamber. It comes out every day. It will release carbon dioxide. It goes down. Whenever it comes up, people can see. Acha, submarine is here. Again, when they go down, they can predict where it is moving. So it's of no use. But if you make it as like, nuclear submarine, it can be inside water for 6 months. Arihant. Actually, India brought Akula-2. It is a nuclear submarine from Russia. Then we made our own, Arihant. Arihant submarine was taken by India. And it is a nuclear submarine which can be inside water for 6 months. Now with Arihant submarine, India went to South China Sea. China is on one side. Who is this? China. Another side, who is there? US. Another side, who is there? India is there. Who are friends here? US and India. India, US wants to talk to each other. India, US submarines want to talk to each other because once what happened, this Chinese ship came almost closer to Indian submarine. They were about to catch. Somehow Indian submarine escaped. But US was trying to tell India, like, they're coming. You go. But the point is, ours is Russian made. US and Russia don't communicate with each other. US weapons don't communicate with Russian weapons. Because of this, we both could not come together. At this point of time, Trump called India and told, why can't we have an agreement where my submarine can talk with you and your submarine can talk with me? And we signed agreements. UPSC question 2021. What are the agreements between India and US in South China Sea? Are you understanding? Everything is associated with current affairs. Now, India is closer to whom? Vietnam. Last year prelims question they asked about Vietnam. What is Vietnam's economy? What is Vietnam doing? Why? They gave port. If they give port, at least you should know what they are doing. Vietnam. Second country, Philippines. India has sold BrahMos missile to Philippines. Vietnam gave port. India sold BrahMos missiles to whom? Philippines. Modi went to Brunei. This week he went to Brunei. Why? South China Sea. Every year, something happens in this area. Every year. You can't leave this area. And this entire issue is on the basis of what? Law of sea. On the basis of what? 9-9. If you go to exam without South China Sea, that means you are not prepared the most important topic. I'm just trying to tell, You should know where politics is. And can I say everything is associated with geography of this region? Why did Modi go to Brunei? Because Brunei is in South China Sea. Are you getting the point? So here, I want you to know, we are all close with one another. India is trying to enclose China. All the enemies of China, India wants to be together. So that in case something happens, they are with us. China is entering into India, India's neighborhood. India is entering into Chinese neighborhood. Fine. So this is about unclause. I'll give in detail about South China Sea when we talk about China. But do you get this? Yeah. Now, one last thing we have is about airspace. Airspace. How much in the air is ours? How much in the air is ours? Did you get my question? Can anyone fly over us? Till some area, it should be ours. Correct? So basically, remember, I hope you have this concept clarity where the height of troposphere is less near poles and it increases near equator. Hot expands, cold contracts. What is the height? 8, 13, 18. Where are developed countries present? 8 and 13. Most of the developed countries are present in between 8 to 13, above 30 degrees. India and all comes here. So what these people did, they told, like, most of the aeroplanes will go in stratosphere, that to lower stratosphere. For them, this is stratosphere. For us, stratosphere means above 18 kilometers. So Europeans and all go in this region. So they told 12 kilometers from the ground will be controlled airspace. Different countries use different things, but most of the countries use this specific number. What is it? 12 kilometers from the ground. 12 kilometers from the ground, it is our controlled airspace. Above 12 kilometers, we call it as uncontrolled airspace. Controlled airspace, uncontrolled airspace. Uncontrolled airspace will be anything, anywhere. But till 12, what is the meaning of controlled? Let us say, if someone tries to come into my territory, someone is trying to come into my territory. As soon as they come in, I will ask who you are. I will have radars. Radars will be there. As soon as someone comes, radar will detect. We will send a signal who you are. They will tell, we are coming from Sri Lanka, this flight number, going to Pakistan through India. Help us. What India will tell? Fine, I will give you a route. Come. India will give a specific route to go. Like, so when a flight is moving, so let us say India, Sri Lanka, when a flight is moving, they go like this. They tell, don't go over Sri Harikota. Don't go over Tirupati. Don't fly over Tirupati. Don't fly over Hyderabad. Okay, don't fly over Kudankulam nuclear project. Don't fly over Krishnaraja Sagara Dam, Nagarjun Sagar Dam. They will have some areas. They will tell, don't fly over them. And then they will give a route. And in that route, flight should go. They can't go in their own, in the controlled airspace. And how do I know someone entered into my territory? How do I know? I will try to use radars. Radars, if something is coming like this, what is going to happen? Radar detected. Now the radar can say whether it is a passenger aircraft or it is a jet aircraft. Is it MiG? Is it F-16? Which type of flight is coming, they can get to know. Size, shape and all they get to know. And immediately they will take action accordingly. Now when passenger flight will come, we do this. Above that, above 12 kilometers, if someone has to go, they can go. But normally, no one tries to go above it because in air, we don't know how to go. Let us say Sri Lanka wants to avoid India and go. Bangladesh don't want to talk with India, they will go. But when they are going, we also don't know. We also launched a missile. Let's say, like, Bangladesh is going to Sri Lanka. India was launching missile at Wheeler Islands. Can I say go and hits? Will it be disaster for them? So any country will always ask how to go. It's always safe to go through the permitted routes. Uncontrolled, if anyone goes, no need to take permission. They can go on their own. But that route should be very clear because they should be aware where what is actually present. Second, can I say Sriharikota is dangerous? If I go over Sriharikota on the same day, if rocket launching occurs, it's dangerous. Missile testing is dangerous. So normally, some air zone is called danger zone. Controlled area, uncontrolled area, danger zone. Danger zone is where threat is there for them. Third, you will have prohibited areas. Prohibited means what? For example, when Second World War was going on, Taj Mahal was covered with grass. The tomb was covered with grass because if someone comes, they will first attack Taj Mahal. Same way, when Hitler came back from Paris, he bombarded Eiffel Tower and came. So, important monuments, we don't want anyone to go over it. Okay, second, we don't want people to go over nuclear reactors, temples. Like, if you take cases like Tirumala, if you take Ajmer Dargah, okay, Mecca, Medina, Puri Jagannath, these type of areas, people will not allow flights to move. Prohibited areas, parliament, because like, let's say Pakistan is going over parliament, they open and drop a bomb. Normal bomb, that is also a threat for us because we know once what happened when they were moving in Chhattisgarh area, like, one flight went, it opened and it dropped all the weapons to the Naxals. So they got weapons from air. Pakistan is supplied from air. So these type of issues will normally occur. So they'll be extremely scared of allowing. Some are restricted. What is the meaning of restricted? It will be only given for Air Force. Port Blair, only they want to go. Like, let us say Secunderabad will have one Air Force area where they just want to check. That will be given only for them, not for others. Republic Day parade is happening. On Republic Day parade, like, Indian aircrafts will be going, no other aeroplane will be left. Let's say in Bangalore, we will have what we call as aero show. Whenever aero show happens, we tell no. Like, no one should come to this area. That is called as what? Restricted. There is no international agreement on airspace. Airspace. Last point. Whenever you have airspace, how do you do? How do you do? You normally demarcate it with the help of radars. And radars, when we place like this, it can predict who is coming, who is not coming. This radar system will be called Air Defense Identification Zone. Radar border. The border will be called as Air Defense Identification Zone. So in the ocean, I told you orange balls will be put. Here radars will be there. That will be called ADIZ. So what will happen? Let us say this is ADIZ. Okay. Pakistan's ADIZ. India will go like this and come. India will go like this and come. This is India. Pakistan will come like this and go. Once in a while, India will go like this. Once in a while, Pakistan comes like this. They feel happy, like, I violated the border. This will always be there at the international level. But the line is called as what? Air Defense Identification Zone. Can you write? Airspace. Airspace. Hyphen. Unlike maritime borders, airspace is not demarcated by any agreement. Full stop. Most of the countries will create their own airspace, which can be demarcated into following. First one, controlled airspace. Hyphen. It is normally 12 kilometers from the ground surface. 12 kilometers from the ground surface. Full stop. If any flight enters into this area, they have to communicate with the ground station. And ground station will provide all the required support for navigation. Next paragraph. If any flight doesn't follow ground station orders, then Air Force will bring them down. Fine. Next. Second one, uncontrolled airspace. Hyphen. Beyond 12 kilometers, there will be uncontrolled airspace. Where the flights can move without restrictions. Next, danger zone, hyphen. This will be danger for, flight movement, because it can be associated with rocket launching, or missile testing, Next paragraph, or next point. Restricted area, hyphen. Some airspace is controlled by Air Force, and in that area, other aircrafts cannot enter. Next point. Prohibited area, hyphen. Some important monuments, nuclear power projects, hydropower projects would be prohibited and demarcated as no fly zone. Fine. Next, last one. You write. To safeguard airspace of a country, ADIZ, Air Defense Identification Zone, ADIZ is set up. Full stop. In oceans, ADIZ will be till territorial waters. Full stop. India has six ADIZ. North, northwest, northeast, Bangladesh, coast, like that they have demarcated 6. Fine. Okay. So guys, these are some basics. Next class we'll start with neighborhood. Okay. India's neighborhood. That is like Bangladesh, Sri Lanka and all. We'll try to see Monday. Same time.